Mainly I'm working with people who've got really, really extreme illnesses, or they are people who have different complex medical needs. But I actually think that art is a catalyst for a huge sort of like series of things to actually change.
The activities that go on in our centre are really, really important. The fact that we can provide space for people to do sport or Tai Chi, come in and have a meal, but at the same time through our care service, through our youth club, we can provide a wider support to the wider community and keep an eye on how that community develops and support them in that development.
We will be providing a grocery service, or more recently when the council has opened the tip, people have to book to do things at the recycling centre, so we can book them in. If they don't have internet access, we then deliver their pass to them. They can take that and show it. We can also now provide library book requests for them.
A lot of the stuff we see as GPs is not really medical in origin. Much of the stuff we see is related to loneliness, is related to isolation, is related to lack of community. And so what I wanted to do was try and find other sources of support. So essentially social prescribing, the idea of community-based non-medical sources of support.
My impression was the voluntary sector in Ross was that it's absolutely tremendous. It's doing amazing things, but it's doing it very much in a sort of heads down, let's get on with it way. And people aren't very necessarily aware of all the services that are available to them. Plus, the groups don't necessarily talk to each other. So I saw the Community Development Trust as a way of bringing the groups together, which we did last autumn. So in the autumn of 2019, we held a meeting for voluntary groups, and they were actually stunned to find themselves all in the same room with each other.
The local authority approached me and said, what do you think about employing local people to care for local people? So again, through the work and support and running a lot of ideas through the staff of Community Catalyst and the contacts that we have within the organisation, they sort of helped us form clarity and say, yes, actually that is possible.
It wasn't a case of, so you want to be a CIC, this is how you do it and I'll help you. It was, why? Where would you like to be in 5 years from now? She was asking much bigger questions and putting what we were doing in a bigger sort of context, really. And that was incredibly useful. Working with people in communities as a business now hasn't actually changed anything in the way that I do. It's changed in other ways, but not actually in the way that I work with people. The other ways that it's changed are how I can access funding and who I can work with.
It's reinforced my belief in the resilience of Ross, and the way that the community responded to this was absolutely magnificent. And so I am impressed yet again with how great the voluntary sector is.
As an organisation, currently we're dominated. Our income is dominated by grants. We've got a 5-year plan that it goes around the other way, but within 5 years, we're reliant on traded income, on our own, standing on our own 2 feet without relying on grants, because the grants aren't always going to be there. So that's why we're looking at opening up our own community shop. That's why we're looking at housing and becoming a landlord, and we've got other initiatives potentially on the horizon.